All right, there we go. I am not going to dick around with it anymore. I do apologize. Welcome into the Rant, everybody. I am Pugs Moran. Had a little issue there with the Go Live button. There is a button here on my laptop that starts the show. It starts the, it's how you go live. It's, right there in the name. And for some reason, it wouldn't click. I'm clicking it. It wouldn't work. Also, scheduled the show a little bit late. I think I scheduled the 2 p.m. show at around 1:55. So I do apologize for that. That was my mistake. I thought I'd scheduled the show earlier. Look at my girl. Look at Taranda's here. Jen's here. Raina's here. Have I got Adam Raina? It is so nice to see you. Adam Raina, I have something that I think you would be so interested in. All right, I'll get into that. All right, we'll get back into that. We will put a pin in it. Adam, if I move on and forget to double back to this, just in the chat room, be like, hey, you said you had something, because I do want to mention this today. What do we do here on the show? Well, it's a narcissistic middle-aged white man screaming into a camera for 2 hours every day since this isn't a flight of fancy. 2021. That's right. We've been doing this for 4 years here on the Radio Misfits podcast platform. Every single day, talk radio the way I think talk radio should sound, which is not what you're getting on the terrestrial radio dials. You're getting a bunch of dorks who are doing radio in shirts and ties. Anyway, it's a bit more freeform, a bit more hot topic-y, a bit less political, that's for damn sure. We don't give a shit about how you voted or what political ideology you are marching in lockstep to. No, this show is for the 70% of people here in America who I think are still normal. That's right, 30% of you are gone. 30% of American citizens today, I can't have a conversation with. I just got to walk away. That's 15% on the right, those weirdos, and then 15% on the left. The rest of us, doesn't matter if we voted for this guy or that woman in the last election. The rest of us, that 70%, we can all do business together. We can go out to dinner without it turning into a shouting match. We can walk through an end cap or a display in a Target and not lose our shit. That's who this show is for. People who don't get triggered by all the nonsense being force-fed us by both the right and the left. Talk radio for normal people is what I like to call it. Hi, Byron. So to that end, here's what we're going to be getting into today. All right, we're going to start out. We got some headlines. We'll give you a couple of the big headlines of what's going on with Russia and Ukraine. Don't spend a whole lot of time on that because, as I like to say, if that's really what you're interested in hearing about today, there are plenty of sources out there that will give you whatever biased point of view they want you to believe. They're out there, not here, but we'll touch on them. We like to keep everybody at least up to speed on the big things that are happening. A couple of things I do want to dive into, a couple of stories and articles that I read today that are circulating around. One concerns us, we the people. Not me, the people, we the people collectively. It's talks about what we think is the greatest threat to our current life, American life. What is the greatest threat? Is it terrorism? It ain't terrorism. I think you're going to be. I wasn't shocked. I was surprised. So I'm going to say you're going to be surprised. You'll be surprised to learn what the number one thing that Americans believe is the greatest threat to us as a nation. All right. Also, we're going to have some fun. Here's another, I love my lists. Oh, God, you guys, if I get a list pops up in like some newspaper or something in the morning, you better believe I'm bringing it to you. Well, guess what list we got here? This is a good one. This is a good list. We're going to be running down a list that was published today by Wallet Hub. Wallet Hub does all of this, all these travel lists and all that. How about the most fun states in America? What are the most fun states in America? Which means we'll also be talking about the least fun states in America. Yeah, that's right, Mississippi. You're probably getting a call out today. I haven't seen what the worst or least fun state is, but I got to imagine it's Mississippi. They usually take the bottom in all the categories. All right, we're also going to talk about the Cowboys documentary. I want to get into it. Yeah, you got Netflix? Of course you do. Everybody's got Netflix. There's a brand new documentary series, 8-part series on the Dallas Cowboys. It's called America's Team, The Gambler and His Cowboys. It's not a great title. It's actually a terrible title, because for America's Team, there have been endless documentaries about the Cowboys titled America's Team. And then, the hyphen, The Gambler and His Cowboys. See, I always want to go, wait, is it Jerry Jones in the Cowboys? It's very, I don't know. It's not great. For some reason, it's not great. The title, that is. So I'm going to want to talk about this series because I did something incredible. I can't believe that I did this. The 8-episode series debuted on Tuesday night. Here it is, Thursday afternoon. I have seen all 8. That's right, a full review. And it's fresh in mind because I was binging these episodes. I stayed up till 3 a.m, 2 nights in a row, and I have gotten all 8 episodes. Give you a full and comprehensive review of the new Cowboys documentary. Also, we're gonna even that out with some more. I want to show you some great video from yesterday. It also concerns an NFL player. A lot of these NFL players, we know about the Rashee Rices of the NFL, racing up 75 there at Mockingbird and causing a massive accident and then just walking away. I wasn't here. We all know we hear these stories about NFL players all the time. I got a great NFL player story for you. We'll talk about that guy. Also, somebody else is in the news today. Somebody who I am familiar with only because of my son, I believe. I think my son is not a fan of this individual. There was a whole class of superstar out there that people like you and me, we wouldn't know if they were standing in line in front of us at the 7-Eleven. Until they hop in their like hot pink Lamborghini and race off, and we go, I wonder who that was. It's the internet or YouTube star of Gen Z. I've got one I want to focus on today. He's making some news, and my son hates him, and apparently that's this dude's whole bit. His name is Jack Doherty. Are you guys familiar with Jack Doherty? I bet your kids are. So we're going to dive into who this freaking miscreant is. I also want to talk about a little incident that I had this morning. And I swear, I am not proud of myself. I like to think, I talk all the time. I'm one of these guys who believes in the miracles of therapy, like real therapy. Like if you're a human being and you're just like bottling all of this shit up and compressing it down and I can't take this bullshit one more day. All of this stuff that we go through, there are tools available that you can use that I don't think the average person is aware of that will help you get over these things, ways to think, ways to train yourself to see and react to certain situations. And what I consider to be the most important aspect of all of these problems, anxiety and rage and, people losing their shit, ego. Ego management is the most important tool that I have been able to master through my years of therapy. And guess what? This morning, completely fucking forgot about my ego management skills. And it happened in an everyday way that I think you and me and we all experience it. I'll tell you what it was. So I'm driving. That's right. It happens when you're driving. We're going to talk about a road rage incident that I should have known better and I shouldn't have. So I exit the expressway here in Dallas. I exit right there at the Perot Museum in downtown Dallas. That's where I get off. I believe it's Field Street. So I exited Field Street and I go past the Perot Museum. Now in front of the Perot Museum is a walkway that connects the parking lot to whatever. I think I'm on, what street am I even on at this point? I'm not on Fields because I'm still on the, doesn't matter. Let's not get bogged down in details. So I'm in front of the Perot Museum, and there is a walkway that connects the parking lot to the museum itself. And this walkway is there for, moms with kids in strollers going to the museum, a field trip that just got out, and they're now going to cross the street using this walkway. Well, the walkway has, special lights. It's not just a red light, but it's got, these special lit up things that blink. They go blah, 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 like they strobe at you to tell you to fucking stop. Okay? No, I'm very good about this because I like to think that I am a courteous driver, right? So every day when I come to this thing, if there's even somebody standing there about to hit the button, some mom with her kids about to hit the button, I will stop and I'll be like, you can go ahead. Again, because I'm a decent fucking person, okay? And I don't need to be going 40 miles an hour down this little half-block stretch in front of the Perot Museum. So I see this very scenario playing out in front of me. As I'm approaching the intersection, I see a mom. She's got a kid in a stroller, and she's got another one whose hand she's holding, and she is trying to hit the button, which will illuminate the strobes, which means everybody's got to stop and let them pass. Oh, God, here come hiccups. So as I'm rolling up, I see her doing this, so I start to slow down. Well, this doesn't make the guy behind me happy. The guy behind me, he immediately tries to go around me for a second, but sees he would have to jump into an oncoming lane, and this fucking guy decides to pull back. You ever do that? You're like, I'm going to go around this asshole. And you got to pull back, and then I look at him in the rearview mirror, and I'm like, you suck. So she hits the button, the strobe goes on, and now because I'm slowing, I've come to a complete stop, and I'm letting her pass, right? So she passes in front of me, and the minute she gets in front of me, even though the strobe is still going, this dude behind me goes, like on the fucking horn. I'm like, excuse me? Excuse me, dude? Do you not see a mom, a stroller, and a little kid in the walkway? And I'm sure his argument was, well, she's already passed your lane. She's now in the other lane on her way to the sidewalk, so you can go. I'm sure that's what he's thinking. Meanwhile, the strobes are still going, brah, 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 brah. And not only that, but about 20 yards up on the right-hand side, parked right in front of the Perot Museum, is a Dallas police officer, right? So guess what? I'm going to sit here until the fucking strobe goes off. And now I'm doing it on purpose. I might have on any other day just been like, okay, all right, we can go now. But no, today I am waiting for the strobe to go off. And it turns out that strobe is like 30 seconds long. So now I'm sitting there. Why? And this guy's furious behind me. He's like, nah, nah. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, still going. Why did I do that? I did that because I was trying to fucking irritate him. I was irritating him because this stranger, who I don't know from Adam, he might be a fucking awesome guy. This stranger had the gall to beep at me. The gall! Just being outraged by someone beeping at you is an example of you not having control of your ego. And I lost it on this guy. He finally went around me, right? And as he was coming around me, the strobe was stopping. So I just fucking turned. Like, we're close. We're, as close as the camera is there as he's going by me this way. And I just went like this. I just went this. And I'm doing, you motherfucker. And I'm like screaming at him. And now he's screaming at me. And instead of making the left, which would be the ramp to get back on 75, instead of making that lap, he has now stopped at the ramp. And he's rolling his window down. He's like, hey, motherfucker. And I'm like, hey, dog. And now I drive on. And as I drive away, I was just so upset with myself. There is no reason for me to have been triggered in that way other than I completely forgot how to rely on in the moment these tools that I think are so fucking precious. So maybe I need to stop running my mouth about that bullshit, because when the rubber hit the road today, I did not handle my shit properly. I turned into... And then the rest of the drive-in, which is only a couple of blocks here to the beautiful E-Gallery studio and the Kelly Moore Memorial, or the E-Gallery and the Kelly Moore Memorial Studios. It's only a couple of blocks. And on that whole rest of the block, I was just like, what elicited that response? And it's because a stranger beeped at me in traffic. Why does that trigger us so much? Like, do we think the beep is like, fuck you? Fuck you? Like, what are we interpreting from the beep? It is like the most aggressive thing that somebody on the road can do to you, which is beep. And to look at it that way is absurd. And it's only absurd because it's your ego that is being, how dare this person say I'm doing something as I drive? I am a damn fine driver. I think that's what it is. I think it's a criticism from a stranger that triggers you. I don't know. I got to handle it better in the future. That's just me. I'm an idiot. Adam's got good advice. This is absolutely good advice. This is another tool. This is the kind of tools that you have to rely on. Adam says tomorrow's another day. It is. Okay, so I failed. So I failed in my ego management, and my rage took, my natural Irish rage took over. But tomorrow is, in fact, another day. Thank you. Barney calling us all Pugsaholics. Is this something? Is a Pugsaholic a thing? Let's make it a thing. All 10 of us. Broom Street. Adam says it's Broom Street. Adam, you probably, because from your Uber days, you probably know exactly that little stretch there that runs sort of alongside 70. It's not 75 at that point. What is it at that? Is that Stemmons? What is? I don't know. I don't know what all the little stretches of highway are. But you know what I'm talking about, right there in front of the Perot Museum. It's a lovely little part of town. Yeah, you know, you got the Perot Museum here, and then you got the backside of the House of Blues, and then you make a right turn on Lamar at the Hooters right there, and then you got all the stuff. It's a great part of Dallas. I love that part of Dallas. That's why I exit there, because I enjoy it. All right, while I've got Adam here, I want to tell Adam about something. This is just the whole next couple of minutes of the show is just going to be me talking to Adam. So, Adam, I just want you to know that you are irritating as fuck. You've been irritating as fuck for a good 25 years, and yet somehow I can't bring myself to quit you. So apparently you're doing something right. And I do find Adam to be very interesting. I think that he's smart, and he's little he's a troublemaker. Like too much of, you know, everything you say, he's going to tell you you're wrong. So but that's also what makes him interesting. And it's, you know, all that. So anyway, I have a new project that I'm working on that I would like to loop Adam into. It is really cool. It is really exciting. And one of these shows here in the next couple of days, as soon as I get a little bit further along in the process, one of these shows in the next couple of days, I'm going to feature this new project that I'm doing. And it's a project that I'm working on with my old friend. He created it. It's his thing, though. I don't want to take credit for it. I just want to take credit for promoting it and being a part of it as it grows. But it's our friend in the chat room, Rob. And I don't know if Rob is in the chat room. Now, Rob is an old friend of mine. I've told you the story about Rob. Rob was a lead singer and songwriter in a band that I managed. I used to manage Barney. Byron, I'm sorry. Byron thinks Adam received way too many hugs. That's his problem. Anyway, Rob Barr, who is in the chat room, Witch Kitty is his band that he just formed a couple of years ago in San Francisco, and you know they became pretty. God, excuse me. He's a very well established working musician, but Rob and I, we go back to the early '90s. Chicago, the Wicker Park scene, all of that stuff. He was a singer in a band that I managed. So we'd been friends, but we lost track. And he went off and he went to California and he started doing his own thing. And he's still playing in bands and got a recording studio and record label and all that stuff. But what he did was he built the Hire a Hero organization, which is a nonprofit that supports returning veterans. I did some work for them for a lot of years. I love this organization. And I love the organization because I know who Rob is. Like, I know who Rob is as a dude. Rob is not a dude who runs a veterans organization who has a garage with like 5 supercars in it, okay? Unlike the Wounded Warrior guy. I don't want to say any names, but when you are the CEO of a nonprofit and you live in a 15,000 square foot mansion, have a private jet and like 5 Lamborghinis, yeah, I don't think you're really giving all the money to the vets, are you? Yeah. Rob isn't that. So anyway, over the years, Rob has built this incredibly well-respected and highly successful veterans placement nonprofit. And unfortunately, for whatever reasons, I don't know if I need to go into the economics of it, but that's not something that he's primarily focused on anymore. There have been some changes to the way the government. All right, I'm going to tell you. About 9 months ago, Elon Musk came in with his chainsaw, and there is now no more federal support for veterans organizations like those. See, the feds, they had this rule where if you applied for a job, some about you had to be, I don't know. There was checks and balances in the government that ensured that with government jobs, if you are a government contractor, that you are hiring veterans. That's a really great rule and law that apparently Elon Musk decided we didn't need anymore. So now all the support for all of these veterans agencies and nonprofits that have been, and they're nonprofits. That's the thing, they've all sort of been crushed by Elon, but it's okay because Doge is cool. That's a fun word to say, right? So Rob, he's thinking about what the next thing is, and he's a music guy. He has recently reestablished himself in the Bay Area scene, and he's got all kinds of friends and people in media there, and all kinds, all of that. He's very well connected. So he reached out to me, and we've been talking, and he laid on me this new concept that he has. And I immediately thought, I thought of like a number of people in the business that I know that I need to loop into it. And again, when I say a new business, it's like, hey, Adam, you want to sell Amway? No, that's not what I'm talking about. He's creating a new site for unsigned bands in America. Like I think of Bandcamp and all that kind of stuff. I don't want to go into the details. I don't want to give anything proprietary away, but he knows what he's doing. He has built successful platforms and stuff like that before. And he's also, a really well-engaged person in the music scene, the live music scene in the Bay Area. So he's created a site. I'm not going to give it away yet. I'm not going to tell you what it is because it's not even functional. We're just bringing in the initial people, but it's going to be a repository for unsigned artists, the best unsigned bands. The premise, one of the things that I like to point to that is a proof of concept for this kind of thing is that for years there has been a thing in Hollywood called the Blacklist. And I don't know if you're familiar with the Blacklist, but the Blacklist started in like 1989 or 1990. And what it was it was a list, a mailer that was sent out to people in the film industry every year that compiled the 10 best unmade scripts floating around Hollywood. So this was a yearly list of the 10 best scripts, right? They weren't being produced. Paramount wasn't producing, Fox was, nobody wanted them. Everybody was passing on them. But, just objectively, these are the 10 best that if someone wants to scoop in and buy them low. Well, they started doing that in like 1990. There has been like 15 best pictures won off the Blacklist. So it's been a way to discover new directors and that the system has passed on by suddenly making them hot again. Same concept can be applied to what Rob's premise is with this new business. And what we're going to need is people. We're not opening it to the public, well, maybe not now, but we're going to need people who I feel can listen to unsigned music or, bands that aren't famous yet, listen to their stuff and then help us rate them. And ultimately my digital thing, I'm going to do a digital radio show. I'm going to do a Casey's Coast to Coast top 10 of the best unsigned bands this week. Now, how will we come to that? It'll be a combination of, people who visit this website that I'm not mentioning yet. I'm just giving a very overall view of what this concept is. So the ranking, the number one unsigned band in America, the ranking will be determined by a crew of individuals who are in the music business or in music radio or in the record business in general, right? So we've already got a number of people who are record company guys who are like, yeah, I'll do it. I'll listen to these 10 songs a week and then rate them 1 to 10. And then you'll compile the list based on, I've got radio DJ friends. I've got music directors, that are going to participate in this, but I also want fans. And I'm telling you, there's not a bigger music fan that I know than Adam Rayner. That dude, I don't even know if his music taste is good, but I know that he knows about all of it. And I think that this could be something that I would like to talk to you more about, Adam. I would like to bring you in as somebody who can be one of our experts. So top of mind, Adam popped into the chat room, and I just wanted him to know that I've been thinking about you. So we'll talk. We'll reach out. It's very cool, and I'm very excited for Rob because I think that this is a banger idea. And not to say anything, but I brought some other people in on it today. A little meeting that we just had at 12 o'clock, and this person who is also very important in the space of digital content creation loved it. He's like, yeah, I want to be involved in that. That's taking a very targeted view of social media and just bringing all the people who like to discover new unsigned bands and all of that stuff. Yeah, but Pugs, nobody just likes to discover random unsigned bands. No, you're right. You know, you want to listen to a song you never heard? No. But you know who does get involved? Fans of those unsigned bands. So if you can somehow trigger the fan base of some unsigned band from Akron to get their fans to start upvoting themselves on this new site, having them rise in the charts, I'm telling you, it could be a thing. It could be a very cool, we'll see what music scene in America, and I don't even know if the music scenes are as great as they once were, which might be another reason to kind of focus on something like this. Build the music scenes again. I can tell you that my friends who are bar owners have never recovered from Corona. They're booking less bands. They're looking for anything that will build an interest again in getting this generation that stays in their bedrooms to come out to clubs and support local music. So that's the whole point of this. Adam, yeah, now I know you gravitate to indie music, and it's not, even if you didn't gravitate towards indie music, I trust that you hear stuff and you like it and you can articulate why you like it. So that's why I'd like you to be involved in this. All right, there you go. Don't need to make Adam feel special, but he's a music dork, and I need real music dorks to sort of listen to these things. Sports bras, they say they want to be involved too. I don't think so. I don't. I'm kidding, CC. I'm kidding. And you can also pick your genres. Like you can be a curator who specializes in this genre or that genre or this genre. You know what I mean? That's also an option for you in this. So it's very exciting. I've given out no details. If it doesn't make sense to you right now, that's because I haven't given out any details because I just can't. Won't even give out the temporary site that's up. There's a practice site that we're all playing on. It's so much fun. Guys, I heard a band today. Oh my God. I got to play. Can I play one song for you? Can I hear? Oh my God. Let me play a band. This is the secret sauce of this site. So I'm just listening to music in the background, right? I'm just playing all of these songs off the site, listening in the background. Hold on. Let me go to the website. And I have now heard at least the top 5 songs on this list. I've now heard them at least, a couple of times each. This fucking song, I've been playing like 3 or 4 times. I'm like, this song is a hit. This song is by a band that, is unsigned. They're out of Scotland. This band's out of Scotland. They're freaking great. This song is a total hit. Let me see if I can find it for you and play it. Okay. Isn't that fun when you hear the big click noises? See if we can make this work. All right, here we go. Oh, yeah. Okay, so it looks like this will work. Maybe. Featured. Yeah. No, that's not it. Hold on. Where is it? This song is currently, it looks like it is ranked number 4. And again, this is a beta website. Listen to the songs. Give a little bit of listen to this. Because I've heard it like 3 times now, and I'm like, okay, that's the one. That's the one that if I was still an assistant music director at Q101 in Chicago, I'd say, let's put this on now. Let's start featuring this now. This is from a band called, and it's a great band name. They're from Scotland. They're called We Were Promised Jetpacks, which is a great band name. That's a terrific band name. We Were Promised Jetpacks from Glasgow, Scotland. The song is called If It Happens. Just listen to this. Give a little listen to it. Sorry. Started from the beginning for you.
If it happens, then it happens. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. And I'm not gonna lose any sleep about it.
Adam says, yeah, I like them. They've been around for a while. They have. They've been around almost 10 years. Still unsigned to a major label, which means their music is license free.
And I'm not gonna feel any shame about it anymore. All I wanna do is get high and enjoy the view. Now I'm here. And all I wanna do is get high and enjoy the view. If I fall on my sword, would you question why I'd fall in such a stupid sport? And I'm not gonna kick up my fuss about it, 'cause you can't make me feel any worse about it than I do. All I ever wanted was a future, somewhere to sit and paint a bigger picture. Somewhere to raise my head and face the music. And all I wanna do is get high and enjoy our view. Now I'm here.
All right, there you go. All I want to do is get high and enjoy the view. The lyrics are what fucking struck me. That's a great song. That is just an example of an unsigned band that we're going to try and do a little thing with. Rob's a genius. Rob's got some really cool ideas, and this one really struck me. So be looking for that. I'll be giving you more about the website because I will want you guys, certainly as Rob gets comfortable with making more and more things public and, LLCs and all the stuff that we got to do to make this real before we go live. I do think I will be doing a daily show where we just listen to music. That's kind of a new thing that we're going to do tied in with this every day. I'll still, to some extent, need to do this kind of thing, but we're going to start producing that as well. A new show, a new listening party every day. The top 10, maybe even top 20 weekly podcasts that we'll list based on the ranking and the voting that you people have done the previous week, where these bands list. I don't know. It's very fun and it's exciting. And I love the idea of now getting back into music, something that I did before I started shit talking professionally. And look at it. It's Rob. Okay, so we want to get started now with the show. Let's talk about some of the things that are happening here. But before we do that, I do want to say a very big thank you. Today's show is brought to us by the fantabulous Leslie C. Thank you, Leslie. We didn't do a show yesterday. I had too much, had some meetings about this, about what I was just telling you. Had a whole bunch of stuff going on yesterday, so I didn't do an actual show during the day. Did do a Shock House. You can find Shock House. Me, Keith, and CC did a whole bunch of stuff. We broke down the Cowboys documentary. Well, we didn't break it down because we hadn't all seen every episode, so we just mentioned it and talked about, their life as distraught Cowboy fans, that kind of thing. We also covered trivia on Tuesday night. We did Tuesday night trivia. We do that every Tuesday night at the back nine. We call it trash trivia. How about Tuesday night's trivia? Huh? That was a fun one, wasn't it? It was fun. It was fun. Cece from the Sports Bras was out there, and the winner, unfortunately, April did not repeat as champion. Chat room April was our grand champion two weeks ago. This week she did not. I think she came in like fourth or something. I don't know what it was. The winner last week or Tuesday night was a newbie, somebody new who they're going to now show up every week. And I'm fine with that. Somebody going by the name of Scarlet V. Scarlet V, which was very, all right, I got to be honest with you. All right. So Tuesday night at trivia, there were two really exceptionally beautiful women who were playing trivia. If you were there, and it's weird because it's usually just us, normal people who are having fun, and all of that. But for some reason on Tuesday night, there were two exceptionally pretty girls who were playing trivia, not together. They were playing, they didn't even know each other. But the weird thing is that one of them's name was Scarlet and she had red hair. One of them's name was Scarlet. The other one's name was Scarlet V. And they didn't even know each other. And they weren't even together. They were just two, seriously, if you pulled out like a strange guy and you went, who are the two, who's the two chicks in the bar that look like models, right? It's and they'd point out these two. And they had the same name. So it was very confusing to me because Scarlet, who just went by Scarlet, also did very well. I think she came in fourth place. But Scarlet V won this thing, and she was playing legitimately by herself. She had a group of people that she was with, but she was the only one who was taking the trivia seriously. And she did unbelievable. She went 19 out of 20 in the final card. There's 20 questions on the final round. She did 19 out of 20. And it was just very, very strange that this, because she's like a 6'2" Viking shield maiden, gorgeous woman. And she had come from an event. So she was dressed in not back nine appropriate clothing. She was overdressed, She was wearing a ball gown kind of a deal, but man, it was fun on Tuesday night. We had a really good time on Tuesday night. Cece of the Sports Bras did horrible. Should be embarrassed. I had one category that I was, I'm look, if you come out, I'll make a category for you. So I made the category of football where I just asked random football questions because Cece is one of the better sports hot take guys I know. He really knows sports and he's really fun and he's got a great personality when he's doing his sports hot takes. So I thought he's going to run this category. He won't go home sad. He did 2 out of 5. He got 2 out of 5 in the football category. So on last night's Shock House, you'll hear I gave his partner Keith, who couldn't show up for trivia, I gave his partner Keith those very same questions that Cece got wrong. And so if you listen to Shock House, also available on Radio Misfits, you'll hear how that went. They're both fucking morons. That's all I'm going to say. It's not like Keith was any better than CC. Let's see here. All right, let's get into the show. Let's stop delaying because it's already 41 minutes and we haven't really done anything. Redistricting. All right, big national news. Redistricting in Texas, that went through. All right. I guess Dems aren't allowed to run for anything. I don't know what the redistricting. Hey, but don't worry about it because California's doing it too. California is going to vote on that tonight. There are a couple of more mechanisms that need to be cleared in California than in Texas. In Texas, it's just, hey, what you want to do? And then they just sign it. In California, it's, hey, y'all, what do you, no, I guess that wouldn't be California. I don't know what a California accent is. Anyway, in California, there's extra mechanisms that need to be passed. And although they said in California, listen to this law. Although they said in California, listen to this law. If you live in California, you can vote on So in California, redistricting like this, unlike Texas, if the House decides in California to redistrict, then they've got to put it up to a vote. Like there's got to be a special election called and the people need to vote on it. And so that seems like really troubling, right? That's like, well, that ain't the same as Texas. It won't be as easy for California to meet Texas tit for tat. Yeah, except there's like one little thing on there, unless the governor decides to override that. So what do you think? Of course, Newsom's going to be like, yeah, we ain't doing a special election for this one. He's just going to sign it. It's going to do the executive order like politicians do now. Just anything that they want to do, they can usurp the Constitution of their given state or nation, state, whatever it is. You can usurp all of that by just signing an executive order and just not worrying about it. We are making the rules up as we go, folks. We are making the rules. All our rules, all of our freedoms that are ensured by this grand constitution of ours, dude, they are all just a construct. And the minute somebody says, yeah, no, I ain't believing that anymore, it's all over. That's what we're kind of experiencing right now in this country. Bombings. Yeah, Russia is no let up. Last night was some of the heaviest bombing of the Ukraine. Here's the interesting thing. They blew up an American company. Russia sent a bunch of drones into, I don't know, some like fucking the Cleveland of Ukraine, and they blew up an American company. Russia struck an American business with cruise missiles overnight in one of the largest aerial attacks of the war so far. Now, remember, we're not even a week away from Putin showing up and, Trump going, I'm going to end the war in 24 hours. And Putin's like, yeah, sure, we'll talk. No, Putin. So there you have it. It says the Ukrainian Air Force said that 574 drones and 40 missiles were fired overnight, primarily targeting western regions of the country. We're not going to do this. I'm not going to be giving updates on body counts and shit like that from the Ukraine war. I've been avoiding the whole Gaza-Israel thing like the plague. Have you noticed that? I hope you appreciate it. I have not talked about that issue for months. Why? Because there ain't nothing we can do about it. There ain't nothing we on this little show can do about it other than sitting here and yelling at each other about starvation in Gaza, war hawking in Israel. No, the Israelis were attacked. The Gazans are terrorists. We ain't doing that shit. We also haven't been doing a lot of Ukraine stuff, but it is a big story today because this is one of the largest attacks on Western Ukraine by Russian forces, and it comes less than a week after Trump was like, I'm going to make a deal. Speaking of Trump, speaking of our fine president, this is a crazy story. Did you see this? This was trending last night. And now it kind of took off this morning. And I don't know why it's taking off because the origin of this story is fucking Alex Jones. I pulled this off NBC News. MSNBC News is running a story about something Alex Jones said. Folks, that's called normalization. You don't normalize something Alex Jones says. Anyway, the story's going around and people are responding to it because Alex Jones predicts that Trump is about to collapse due to medical issues. Now, a lot of people are talking about this. I mean, my personal I don't have any personal feelings on this. It's a stated fact. There are a lot of people saying he doesn't look good. He looks like he's retaining water. His fucking ankles are like tree stumps and he can't fucking walk. And sometimes he sounds drunk. I mean, it's all the Biden stuff. It is 100% all the Biden stuff that irritated you people so much. We're seeing it now in this guy, except this guy looks like he is not only not mentally there all the time right now, but also incredibly physically out of shape. Where something you couldn't say about Biden. At least Biden was like an old man who was skinny. He's a big fat Trump guy. That's what he is. Cheeseburgers every day for the last 50 years. He is looking horrible. And nobody on the MAGA side is really pointing this out. Everybody else is. People in the middle and people on the left are saying this guy's going to drop dead any minute. Well, now Alex Jones is saying it. And NBC is amplifying, not only NBC, they talked about this on CNN this morning. I saw it scrolling underneath. Alex Jones says, InfoWars Alex Jones being given credibility by supposed mainstream news outlets amplifying lunacy. Here's the story. InfoWars host Alex Jones has been sounding the alarm, and he's pro-MAGA, over President Trump's health, claiming the president is going to collapse as he struggles with extremely swollen ankles and lower body parts. He often sounds drunk most of the time, according to Alex Jones. Well, I think he sounds drunk just because of the words that come, not the articulation of it, but I think Alex is talking about he actually sounds like he's drunk, which I have noticed some weird, but he's always had a little bit of like a weird speech impediment. That's why so many comedians are so good at doing Trump impressions. If you have some kind of a hiccup or something that's weird about the way you talk, you lend yourself to being mocked by people who do imitations. A lot of people do Trump imitations because he has a very strange and consistently strange way of speaking. The controversial InfoWars host has referenced a report about the president's disturbing comments on entering heaven. What's that? I don't know anything about this. Amid claims that Trump knows he's dying. I haven't heard that. I haven't heard any reports where like Trump is like, he knows he's dying. Jesus. Hey, but don't worry about it. We got JD Vance coming up from it. Oh, God. Alex Jones has claimed that the president is experiencing a medical crisis and highlighted Trump's extremely swollen ankles, stating that he frequently sounds like he's drunk. Jones also says that the president remains unconscious for extended periods of time throughout the day, sometimes sound asleep in the middle of the day. Okay, whatever. But again, why this is interesting is because it's Alex Jones, who you would think that his audience of fucking crazy people are almost purely 100% MAGA. Not all, because crazy people go all over the place. I mean, come on. People were burning down Tesla dealerships. I mean, crazy people are all over. But Alex Jones specifically, and you know this, he has been a pro-Trump guy. So whatever, there you have it. Alex Jones being amplified by mainstream news publications simply because he is pointing out what a lot of people in the middle and the left have been saying for a while, and that is Trump does not look healthy. He does not look like this is going well. Speaking of, how about this story? I told you at the beginning of the show that I was going to talk to you about a new poll that was put out among the American people, asking them what they think is the greatest risk to America. Now, me, I would go terrorism, but truthfully, I would say that because I've been programmed since 2001 to think that terrorism is the number one threat to America. I don't really think that. I don't really think it is. I happen to agree with the surprising result that the American people who were polled put down as the number one thing that will destroy America. Are you ready for it? We just talked about Alex Jones. Do you know what the number one thing that Americans believe is going to destroy America? Misinformation. Yeah. Thank fucking God. I mean, I saw that. I was surprised because that is exactly what I believe is destroying our country. Dumb fucking people being told dumb fucking things for other people's purposes. And then these dumb fucking people being given platforms on social media to go out and amplify their dumb fucking thoughts. Misinformation. A lack of trust in legacy media, a lack of trust that has been. I don't want to get into it. I know journalists. I know a lot of journalists. I know a lot of really good journalists who are really just all about what's the story here and how do I tell you the story. So the idea that all journalists and all nurses and all school teachers are fucking shitbags is not something that I subscribe to, okay? If you do, there's something wrong with you. There are a lot of good journalists out there. But yeah, misinformation. I mean, the lack of trust that we have in picking up our daily newspaper and believing what a Pulitzer Prize winning journalist says about a situation. The fact that we don't have that as the foundational, well, this is the truth because we don't have it anymore. We don't know where we're getting our information from is basically what I'm saying. Nobody knows what news is anymore. Nobody knows what's actually happening because nobody trusts anybody except for the people that are giving out news content that already feeds a bias someone has. Oh, I like this guy. I get the news from this guy because he tells me all the things that I already know. Like fucking liberals, like shit like that. Like this is the new way of consuming news and being informed that we are operating in. It's a la carte news. We see millions of headlines on social media and we click on the one that, I'm interested in that headline. That's not, news is supposed to be bad, right? News isn't supposed to, trigger endorphins. You're not supposed to read a news story and go, Grah! But we like it because it feels good because that's a natural high. So that's what we are now doing with our information. We're not all gathered around the TV at 10 o'clock at night and watching our late local news just to get a little bit of information about what's happening. Hell, we can't even turn to mainstream cable news anymore to get actual news because all we get from them is like some weird, lame version of Kill Tony now. It's just all a fucking panel show where he's like, this guy said you're fat. You said I'm fat. And they all just fucking argue. That's not news. So the mainstream cable news companies have long since given up on actually delivering information, and they're just now putting on shows. The newspapers, ain't nobody buying no newspapers. Who picks up a newspaper and reads it anymore? No, right? You go to your phone, you click on it, and then what happens? The actual legacy journalism that is afforded you if you wanted to just get basic information about the world is all behind a fucking paywall. So we move on. Well, there's got to be another story on the same topic that I can find. So instead of getting the story from the New York Times or Wall Street Journal or some legacy foundational media, we're going to now go to the one that's free about this same story on Google. And, it's the Gateway Pundit. It's something that is obviously agendized. Now, I know that none of this holds water. My argument seems weak. If you are someone who thinks that the Wall Street Journal is agendized or that, the New York Times is agendized, that's the problem. Nobody knows what the real information is anymore. We just go with what we find works best for us. And for many of us, it's, this headline. Can you believe I'm going to share this headline? One of the most telling things about who we are is when Twitter added that option now. When you see a headline and you go to share it, Twitter now goes, you sure you don't want to read it? And you don't read it. You're like, no, I just want people to react to the headline. I'm not actually going to read the story. But they felt compelled to do that because they noticed that people were amplifying stories and creating public opinion based on eye-catching headlines. And people weren't actually reading the context. So information is broken in this country. And I am a bit encouraged to see that a big, massive poll, tens of thousands of Americans were polled over a 2-month period on what they think is the greatest threat to America today. It wasn't terrorism. It was misinformation. It was people not knowing what the fuck they're talking about. All right, let's see what else. What are some of the other ones here on this? Let me see. Is there a full list? New poll finds that Americans consider misinformation a greater threat than terrorism or pandemic. A new poll found that more Americans view the spread of false information online as a major threat. Pew Research, blah, blah, blah. Okay, now we go into all of we don't need to bore you with that stuff. According to the survey, 7 in 10 Americans view the spread of false information online as a major threat. 7 in 10, 70% of us. I'm pleased that it's a 70 number, but I am concerned that there are 30% of us who don't think half the shit they read is made up bullshit. 30%. According to the survey, 7 in 10 Americans view the spread of false information online as a major threat. Another 24% view it as a minor threat, while 5% said they don't see it as a threat. It's not a threat. Okay, you're stupid. 5% of people are stupid. So what if people got all the wrong information? What could go wrong there? That's not, I'm not threatened by you, fucking idiot. What else do we have here? The poll found that approximately 60% of Americans view terrorism and, quote, the condition of the global economy as major threats, while about 50% viewed global climate change and the spread of infectious disease as major threats. Expanding on those results, 35% called terrorism and the global economic problems minor threats, while 29% and 44% viewed climate change and infectious disease as minor threats. What are some of the other categories here that we had? Because what would I say? What are the greatest threats to America? Okay, I happen to believe that it's misinformation. It's us becoming stupider. Second greatest threat to America, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I bet it didn't even make the list, but fucking AI. You guys, AI is going to be a problem. AI is going to be a real problem. All the jobs are going to be gone with AI. A robot can now do everything, which is funny because when I was 10 years old, I used to think, boy, it'd be great to have a robot to do all my chores. Well, dreams come true, apparently. I'm going to have a robot. I'll be married. Look, I'll probably marry a robot in my 70s. I'm just saying, that's how weird the world is getting. And who knows? Right now, that sounds absolutely absurd. But fast forward 20, 25 years from now, I'm walking down the aisle with some replicant who looks like Sydney Sweeney in 2025. Like, this is my new robot wife. Yeah, they've gotten really good. Feel her boobs. Yeah, I know she's the bride, but go ahead. She's a robot. That's encouraging. It is encouraging to me that the number one fear among all the people posed, they thought the greatest threat to America was misinformation. Because understanding what we're doing wrong is the only way that we can stop doing it wrong. All right, what else do we have here? Let's see. You want to do the most fun states? Come on, I love this because this is an opportunity for me to just shit on states. I've been to a lot of them. I've been to almost all. Can I say that? I've been to almost all 50 states. I've been to Illinois, Indiana, Wisconsin, Iowa, Missouri, Arkansas, Tennessee, Kentucky. I've been to like all of them. I think not all of them. Okay. Well, I haven't been to the stupid states. And you know what I mean by the stupid states? North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming, Montana. I would say Utah, but I've been to Utah. I haven't been to Salt Lake City. Colorado's cool. Love Colorado. I don't think I've ever been. Oh, yes, I have. Been in Nevada. Never been to Oregon. Never been to Oregon. Been to Seattle, so I've been to Washington. Never been to Oregon. Never been to South Carolina. I've been to North Carolina. Okay, whatever. You don't need to know. This serves nobody other than me just sitting here going, what states do I need to go to? Never been to Alaska or Hawaii. Never been to those. All right, so the Wallet Hub, which does all kinds of cool travel rankings and all that kind of stuff. Best city, worst city, all that stuff. Wallet Hub has put out their list of the most fun states for 2025. Now, do you want to start at the least fun states? Should we always begin with a negative and work our way up? Well, guess what? The least fun state in America, is there a guess? Like, what are we doing? We're on a delay. Is there a guest? I'm asking you like a guest. I'm asking you like you can respond. The least fun state coming in at number 50 in our countdown, West Virginia. West Virginia is the least fun state in America. Let's look at the bottom 5. Mississippi, there she is. Look at her. You gorgeous crackhead state. Mississippi comes in at 49. West Virginia comes in at 50. They are the two least fun states. 48's an interesting one just because of its proximity to the East Coast. But Rhode Island comes in at 48. I've been to Rhode Island. I've been to Providence. I thought it was all right. I thought it was cool. It's Boston. It's just Boston. That's all Rhode Island is. It's Boston. 48. Delaware comes in at 47. 46 is Arkansas. All right, I won't waste your time, but let's do the top 10 most fun states, okay? According to Wallet Hub. These are the 10 states that you can have the most fun in. Number 10 on our list of the most fun states in America. Oh, and by the way, I should tell you that how do they come about this? They combine restaurants, theaters, like live stage plays, concert venues, amusement, general amusement, like you got a Six Flags or something like that. What else do they account for? And then they match that against like crime rates and stuff to like come up with a combined number where you can go here, you can go at Six Flags, you can see a Broadway style show, your movie theaters, all the restaurants are here, and you won't get shot. All right, that's kind of how they did it. That's a dumb guy way of explaining it to you, but hey, look who you're looking at. All right, number 10 on the list, Oregon. I've been to Oregon. No, never been to Oregon. I've been to Washington. Oregon and Washington are like the same thing, aren't they? Why do we need an arbitrary border? That could be a super state. Number 10 is Oregon. What's in Oregon? Portland? Oregon's on the ocean, right? It's got a coastline, but it's shitty coastline, right? It's like rocks and shit. It ain't like Southern California coastline. It's like cliffs and rocks, maybe. Whatever. I don't know. Oregon seems all right. I think Oregon, you could have fun there. I look forward to maybe one day going there. Number 9 on the list of the most fun states. So Oregon is 10. Number 9 on the list of most fun states. This is an absolute. This is one of the, how the hell? All right, I'm just going to say number 17 is Wisconsin. That's bullshit. How is Wisconsin 17, but number 9 is Minnesota? How are there 8 spaces different between Wisconsin and Minnesota? I will tell you, Wisconsin is much more fun than Minnesota, but okay. Whatever. Minnesota comes in at number 9. Most fun states. Number 10 is Oregon. Number 9 is Minnesota. All right, guys, let's get ready. Let's throw it down. Number 8 is Texas. Ding, 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 deep in the heart of Texas. Number 8, Texas, comes in at the number 8 most fun state. I don't consider Texas a state. We are a region here in Texas, okay? If we're being honest, if Texas was on the East Coast, it would be 5 states. It would be crushed up into 5 different oddly shapen states. But it's not. It's an entire region, and it's an entire region because when it was made a state, they just looked at this like unhinged Mexican borderland and went, just all of it. Just fine. It's all of it. And they're like, well, don't you want to break it up? Nah, just nobody's going to live in half of it. Just, So that's why Texas is so big. But we are a region and not a state, and we should act like it. Texas comes in at number 8 on the most fun states in America. Number 7, just a little bit better than Texas, Washington. The state of Washington. Mountain climbing, Bigfoots. You go on a Bigfoot hunt. That's got to be points. Like when you're putting this whole list together, if one of the places you can go to have fun involves Bigfoot hunting, yeah, I can see. It's probably why Oregon came in at number 10. Bigfoot hunting up in Oregon and Washington. All right, Washington's number 7. I bet you could also Bigfoot hunt in Colorado, which comes in at number 6, and rightfully so. I don't think so, right? Colorado's not a Bigfoot state. Like the Bigfoot states are California, Oregon, and Washington. The Bigfoot state in British Columbia and Canada. Those are the Bigfoot states. He seems to live in that particular. I mean, I know there's mountains in Colorado. Maybe the abominable snowman is in Colorado. I don't know. Whatever. Colorado comes in at number 6 on our list. Let's go to the top 5. These are the top 5 most fun states in America as judged by Wallet Hub. Coming in at number 5, New York, New York. Start spreading the news. Actually, it's just the state of New York. State of New York is baller, boy. State of New York is cool. You can do it. State of New York has a lot of the same kinds of things that appeal to me about Texas. Texas got everything. Texas got big cities. Texas got wide open spaces. Texas got everything. New York's got the same thing. And I know people say that about California too. And it's true there. But New York's got everything, man. Like upstate New York is nothing like New York City or the section of New York that we all come to, identify with. New York's cool. All right, very good. New York made number 5. Number 5 on the list of the most fun states in America. Number 4, proud to say, Illinois. That's right, my home state comes in at number 4. Beats New York pretty significantly too. Like I was like, how close was Illinois and New York in the fun meter? Illinois scored a 58.14 on the fun meter. New York only a 56.94. So that's the difference there. I would say, yeah, Illinois is a fun state because again, Illinois got all kinds of different things, we got everything. We got pyramids. Do you know that? Do you know Illinois has pyramids? Nobody knows that. And I love to blow people's minds. I'm like, what are you talking about? My state's got history. We got fucking pre-Columbian native pyramids in the state of Illinois. Yeah, go ahead, Google it. Cahokia. 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 Cahokia was the capital city on the Mississippi River of the pre-Columbian natives that basically ran this country back then. And we still got the mounds. We got pyramids. Well, they're now mounds. We call them mounds, but they were pyramids. So there you go. Illinois got pyramids and, 2 baseball teams. Have fun. Number 4 for Illinois. Number 3, this state has been in the news recently. And it's been in the news for some negative things. Like people are like, yeah, people don't like going there anymore. Business is way down. People just aren't going. The fact that the state is number 3 in the fun meter sort of bolsters that, what people are saying, that people aren't going. Nevada is number 3. Look, in this particular poll, you got to believe that Nevada and Las Vegas, Nevada, they're playing for a championship every season. They expect to be number 1. So Nevada being number 3 in the funnest states, that's pretty shocking. I mean, we've been hearing that, right? Nobody's going to Las Vegas anymore. Corporations killed Las Vegas. Family-friendly bullshit. So anyway, there you go. Vegas, Nevada comes in at number 3. Most fun state. Number 2, and the next 2 luggage. Florida is 2, California is 1, right? You knew that was going to be, you have to know that California is going to come in number 1 in the most fun state. First of all, that state's got Illinois. I'll give you an example. We got like 1 amusement park. We got Six Flags. It's outside Chicago. It's there for the region. That's it. California's got like 50 amusement parks. All up and down the coast there. You go from there's a Six Flags up in Northern. There's a Six Flags. There's a Disney. You got Knott's Berry. It's insane. You got the movie industry. You got the beaches. You got the mountains. Yeah, I can see how California might be the most fun state. Same can be said for Florida. Florida comes in at number 2. So much fun can be had in Florida. So much trouble can be gotten into in Florida. So there you have it. As the most fun states as ranked by Wallet Hub this week. All right, so now I want to talk to you about the new Cowboys documentary. Have you seen it? I'm sure you haven't seen all 8 episodes like I have, but Netflix debuted a new 8-part documentary series called America's Team, The Gambler and His Cowboys. Now, it was released on Tuesday. As I say, there are 8 episodes, 1 hour each episode. Some are longer. Some are like an hour 10. And the last one is only 42. 42 minutes. Now, if you were listening to the Shock House last night, I still had a couple of episodes left, but I made the statement to CC and Keith that they don't really cover the past 30 years of futility, because this show, America's Team, The Gambler and His Cowboys, focuses solely on the 90s Cowboys, right? That's what I said last night. Yeah, I was wrong, completely wrong, because the final episode, the final installment is all about the futility of the past 30 years. I mean, it takes you all the way up to what is something really recent in Cowboys. Well, training camp this season, like they're showing they. So anyway, let me show it to you. All right, here, if you're unfamiliar with it, it's on Netflix. It is supposed to be the new, this is what CC called it anyway, but I did do a little research, and I have heard other people make this comparison. Its comp is The Last Dance. So if you're familiar with The Last Dance, that was the Michael Jordan Bulls thing that came out a couple of years ago. I think that came out during the pandemic, maybe. That's why everybody saw it. All right, this one doesn't have the benefit of being on during a pandemic, but it is doing pretty well on Netflix, and I'm sure that most of us here in the North Texas area, we're going to check this out. So let's watch this. Here is the promo, the trailer, as they call it, for the brand new 8-part Netflix series that uncovers every stone about your Dallas Cowboys.
The road to a championship is never paved smoothly. It's always paved with peaks and valleys.
This is a soap opera 365 days a year.
Texas is football country. The hole in Texas Stadium so God could watch his favorite team, the Cowboys.
When I bought the team, I was Darth Vader.
Dallas fans aren't happy.
Last year, they were 1-15.
I said, Dad, I don't know anything about running a football team. And he looked me in the eye and he said, neither do I.
We were gambling my family's whole fortune, so I had to take risks. And it started with Jimmy Johnson.
Get part of this, Fred. Asthma, Mike. Get over there on that other field and have some asthma.
And he made practice hell.
Can I just, what a time. What a time, the mid-90s. Jerry, that's Jimmy Johnson right there. One of his players is having an asthma attack, and Jimmy Johnson says, asthma, get over on that other field. This field, people don't have asthma. What? Fuck, man. Well, you want to win or not? You want to win? You got to hire an asshole, okay? Look, my Chicago Bears, we had Mike Ditka. That guy's a super asshole. But you know what? We won.
So the game is heaven. We were ready.
Showtime.
All of a sudden, it was a runaway train.
Oh, baby.
Everywhere we went, they were icons.
We played hard, and then we played hard.
With that success, you also get disruption.
Police officer came to me, and they pulled the gun. Open the door right now.
Jerry is that disruptor, that innovator.
You're not much of a gambler unless you're going against the popular trend.
No one ever thought Jerry had the guts to fire Jimmy. You don't know half the stuff that was happening.
We do now.
Playing for the Cowboys is different.
The most valuable sports franchise in the world.
No matter what they say, they can't prepare you. You just got to experience it.
And the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys?
We do it our way, baby.
All right, there you go. Debuted on Tuesday. I forced myself to watch all 8 episodes because I wanted to be able to talk about it early on before everybody's had their 2 cents. Here's what I will say. My quick review, let's go on a 4-star basis. Let's say, like movies, the old Roger Ebert system, 4 stars being the absolute best, 1 or 0 being the absolute worst. For America's Team, The Gambler and His Cowboys, this kid goes 4 out of 4 stars. 4 out of 4 stars. It's terrific. It's incredible. And maybe some of my friends around here, you'll have a different experience watching it. Maybe you won't have that 4 out of 4 rating on it because it's too personal for you because it's your team. But I was an out-of-towner. I'm somebody who did not grow up loving the Cowboys back in the 1990s when, it was Jimmy and Jerry and the triplets and all of that stuff, Charles Haley jerking off in meeting rooms, all of that crazy stuff. I was in another city and I fucking hated the Cowboys. There you go. I'm going to be honest. That's another thing that bothers me. This whole America's team. No, you're not. You are not America's team. Yes, you can keep saying it, and yes, you can put it on banners, and yes, you can sell T-shirts that say America's team. You are not fucking America's team. Now, you might have been in 78, 79 with the squeaky clean Staubach and Landry and the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders going on the Love Boat every other week. At that point, there was a case to be made. But if you want to still run around calling yourself America's team, the rest of America's NFL football fans are just going to keep calling you delusional because you're just not, okay? You might be one of the most hated teams in all of sport. And I can tell you, growing up, we all had to have secondary teams that we rooted for. Me and my group of friends, right? I liked the Los Angeles Rams back in 1982, 1983. I loved Jack Youngblood. He was a defensive end. I wore his number in my youth league team. I loved Jack Youngblood. I became a Ram fan. My buddy Eric became a Raider fan. I had another buddy who was an Eagles fan, a friend who was a Steelers fan. You know what none of us were? Fucking Cowboy fans. We were like, why would you want to be a fan of that team? So the whole America's team thing is a brand. It's been branded and it's been marketed, whatever. And people here in North Texas go around going, yeah, where you're America's team. I'm like, yeah, go say that shit in Cleveland. Right now, just go to Cleveland, stand on a corner and start going, Cowboys are America's team. Nobody fucking believes it except for you delusional people, you delulu types. That being said, they are without a doubt one of the most important franchises simply because of their value. The value is what everybody always points to in being proof that the Dallas Cowboys are, in fact, America's team. Fuck you. The value is a byproduct of the genius marketing and branding skills of one Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones has been saying they're America's team and the most important franchise in football for 40 years. He doesn't care if it's true, but if you say it that much, people are going to go, well, they're the most important team. I heard that somewhere. It's marketing, it's branding, and it's repetition. It doesn't mean it's true. With that said, 4 out of 4 stars. It is absolutely a fantastic. I rolled my eyes every time. And Michael Irvin is the worst. Michael and Dion and all of that. Look, I hate Michael Irvin. I have had run-ins with Michael Irvin. Michael Irvin is one of the most reprehensible pricks I have ever met in my life. He's a jerk. He's entitled. He's arrogant. He doesn't think the rules apply to him. And we see that time and time again. Michael Irvin is so stupid. I posted last night on Twitter, this is my simple tweet. Michael Irvin is dumber than I thought. He really is stupid. He's a stupid, stupid man who has never been checked. Everybody in his universe is like, that's right, Mike. That's right. Whatever you say, Mike. He has never been checked. Nobody has ever told him that that joke wasn't funny. Like, he'll say something that he thinks is funny, and then he'll say it like 5 times because everybody he surrounds himself in the universe he's built are like, yeah, Mike, you're so funny. He's so dumb. He is so dumb and self-unaware. But again, because he's never been checked, he can confidently say these things. And he thinks people gonna take him seriously. And he says shit like, here's one of the things that he said that really bothered me. And it concerned, this is probably episode 4, maybe 5. It was Dion coming over from the 49ers to the Cowboys. Now, Dion and Michael, they had sort of a big rivalry because obviously the 49ers and the Cowboys back then were playing for NFC championships every year. And Michael was the star wideout and Dion was the star corner. So these guys had a rough back and forth. Now we know that they're beautiful friends now and have been for years and years. But when Dion came to the Cowboys, Michael like put an arm around him and was like, now look, man, what you got to understand is that the Dallas Cowboy is special. You ain't never been in a place like this. This is the most special team that you could play on. This fucking idea that they all brainwashed themselves with like no one's ever gonna leave in free agency because the Dallas Cowboys is special. Say it enough over and over for years and years, despite the fact you haven't been to a fucking playoff game in 3 decades. Say it again over championship games. Say it again over and over. And dumb people out there will just hear it so much they'll go, well, you know who the most important franchise is? It's the Cowboys. And I'm like, fuck you guys. Now, Dion, this is a special kind. A Dallas Cowboy is a special kind of place. Fuck you. Yeah, I've heard that a million times associated with every other team. Not every team. I don't think there's anybody going, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Nobody's saying that shit, right? We get that. But I sure as fuck has heard it about the Patriot way. The Patriots are a special kind of organization. It's the Patriot way. I sure as fuck have heard that from Green Bay Packer people my whole life. The Green Bay Packers is the most special team. Chicago Bears talk like that. The Chicago Bears are the foundational franchise of the NFL. George Halas invented the league. Fuck it. So stop it, Michael. Stop acting like you think you've done something. This team has been a steaming pile of horse shit since 1998. And these guys are still running around delusional talking about it. It's because of Jerry. Jerry Jones did this to these people because Jerry is a sideshow guy. Well, I'm more of a ringmaster, I guess. Jerry created this entire brand, this entire craziness that surrounds the Dallas Cowboys to this day, to the point where they've got this huge special that this is a big deal. Okay, they ain't doing this for the Cleveland Browns. Netflix ain't putting this on, which again is a self-fulfilling thing. Well, it's because we're special. You're not actually special, is my point. Whether or not you are special is again a construct. It's based upon a brand that Jerry Jones has been pushing for decades to increase the price of his team. You ain't won dick in forever. Stop acting like you're special. The Philadelphia Eagles are a more special franchise right now than the Dallas Cowboys. All right, more on Michael Irvin because he really fucking bugged me in this special. Also, as I've stated, because I've met him personally and I've been around him and I've had run-ins with him and I've seen the way he behaves, and Michael Irvin is an asshole. Okay, back to the Cowboys thing, which is so good. I mean, look, if you this weekend, you got 8 episodes, man. I mean, if you're a Cowboy fan, you'll love it. If you're a Cowboy hater, you'll love it. It's just a really well done and fascinating thing. So another bit that really bothered me about Michael Irvin was they were talking about, I don't know, one of Michael's many little indiscretions. I think this is the one where he had cocaine and crack in a hotel room in Irving. And he had a bunch of whores in there, which, by the way, so funny. I just said he had a bunch of whores in there. And I used that word whore in this particular moment for shock value. I was like, I'm going to go with whore. I'm going to go with whore. People will be like, you can't say that. So they're showing all of the news reports from local Dallas news on the night that Michael Irvin was arrested at this Irving, Texas residence inn with a bunch of women and drugs. And all like the news guys, like the WFAA News, the sports guy, right? He's like, Michael Irvin today was found in an Irving residence inn hotel with crack cocaine, and 2 whores. on the news, describing the women he was with as whores. That's really funny. So watch for that. And then when you see it, you'll chuckle and you'll go, hey, Pugs thought that was funny too. Like a news guy back in like 1990, what was it, 6, maybe 97? I don't know. A news guy back then. He was with some whores and they had cocaine. Bob, do we have any more information about the whores? No, we don't. The whores, we understand, were employees of a local gentleman's club. We do not have any more information on the whores. Stay with WFAA if you need more breaking news concerning Dallas whores. It was just the way they used it. And it was fine. It was absolutely fine. But again, that just shows us how much we've changed, that we've policed words and all that. You shouldn't say that. Nobody batted an eye back then. I promise you, in 1996, when that guy, I think it was John McKay. I think it might have been John McKay who said that. I'm John McKay. I've been doing 10 p.m. news here in Dallas for 20 years. I am the Walter Cronkite of Dallas. Top story tonight, Michael Irvin and the whores. It's great. It's awesome. Another great thing, and again, I'm not going to say that I don't want to give away spoilers, because there's no fucking spoilers here. This is history. You guys even remember all of this stuff happened or it didn't. I don't want to give away too many spoilers, but there are certain things that I found very entertaining. Okay, all right, so I'll do this since we were just talking about the whores. So Michael Irvin, he gets caught with the whores and they reported as whores and all that kind of stuff. And, so Michael gets brought up on charges, very serious charges, very serious, man. He's looking at, time in jail and, Texas, this is back when Texas was still locking celebrities up because they got caught in Austin with a joint. Like, hey, let's put David Crosby in jail for 40 years because he had a joint. Right? That's how Texas's drug laws were back then. He had cocaine and crack. He would not play him. He was going to be not only suspended probably, but he was going to jail. Michael Irvin to this day, because Michael Irvin is all over this documentary. Michael Irvin to this day is being interviewed by the directors of this documentary about that moment. What were you thinking? What was going on then? To this day, Michael Irvin acts like he was the victim in all of that. Now, what ended up happening was Michael Irvin got like community service and a small fine. I mean, justice was not served. And, they're talking to people on the street at the time. So what do you think? What do you think of the Michael Irvin deal? What do you think of the Michael Irvin plea bargain? And everybody's like, well, I guess it just shows that, money, you don't have to go to jail. Like, people were mad. People were like, well, he just totally got away with it. He got away with it. In Texas, in Dallas, the judge took a special interest in this case. I'm wondering if the judge would have taken a special interest in this case and met with the offender once a month for 3 years, which was part of the plea bargain. The judge had to have a once a month meeting with Dallas Cowboys star wide receiver Michael Irvin. Do you think the judge was serving justice, or did the judge just want to become friends with Michael Irvin? That story's fucked up. You can look into it all you want. But anyway, yeah, there was some nonsense, and Michael Irvin did not have to pay the price for what it was that he did. And to this day, being interviewed, Michael Irvin still acts like he's the victim there. Oh, that DA, I'll tell you, that DA, he was really coming after me. And I ain't done nothing wrong. And I'm like, this is because I'm a rich black man who's a high-profile celebrity. And I'm like, motherfucker, it's because you were caught in a hotel room with hoods and a whole bunch of cocaine and crack. You still won't admit that you broke the law. He was breaking the law. And he still, to this day, acts like he was being persecuted because of who he was. Take some fucking responsibility, dude. You're in your 60s now. This was in the 90s. You were partying with whores with coke and crack. It wasn't some great conspiracy by the powers that be in Dallas to try and take you down because you got too uppity. Fuck you, Michael Irvin. No responsibility for it. I showed up for court that very first day. It was 105 degrees out, and I was wearing my mink jacket. I didn't want to wear a mink jacket because It was mink weather. I was wearing that mink jacket so that I could show all of those people who I was. I wanted them to know that I am not somebody to be played. And I'm like, you fucking asshole. Put your head down, go in front of the judge, say, look, man, I fucked up. I got some problem. No, to this day, that arrogant son of a bitch is still acting like he did nothing wrong and that this was just some great miscarriage of justice that he was arrested at all. Ugh, I hate Michael Irvin. Starting to come around on Deion, though. Yeah, I didn't like Deion. I'm not a Deion Sanders fan at all. He is the greatest cornerback to ever play the position. That is facts. But he's another asshole. Or at least I always thought. Deion came off great in this. I thought Deion was great. I'm like, go back to Deion. Less Michael, more Deion. Emmett's a big bag of fucking stupid. Emmett offers nothing. Emmett says like 50. No, Emmett's a big bag of stupid. That's what he is. He's a big dummy. Deion was great. Troy was great. Troy's great. You know, Troy has like 40 concussions. Like, Jesus, man. You're talking about all the time, which brings us to Troy Aikman's concussion in the NFC Championship game, the first time they lost to the 49ers. Troy was knocked out. I think it was the third quarter of the game with a concussion. He went to the hospital. He flew back home to Dallas, and upon landing in Dallas, by the way, yeah, dude's got a concussion. Let's put him on an airplane for 3 hours. That's something we don't do now. We don't, because, the compression can cause problems. Anyway, they put Troy on an airplane. Something happened. He ended up checking into a hospital in Dallas with, complications from the concussion that was suffered in the game. All right, so that was a big news story. Well, Troy's hurt. Well, whatever. Well, no, the season was over, right? Didn't they lose? Or is that the one they won? It doesn't matter. Let's just fucking not get distracted. Here's what I thought was so interesting. 1995, 1996, Troy Aikman gets released from the hospital, and all the media is there. Of course they are. Troy, how you feeling, Troy? Troy, how you feeling? And Troy is just trying to leave the hospital. And now, typically, right, what year is it? It's 2025. So now, if this happened, let's say if this was Dak Prescott, he's getting released from the hospital, he would have the same sort of media gangbang. Dak, all that stuff. But he'd probably be with a lawyer. Maybe not a lawyer, because that's a bad look, but an agent or a manager or some people, and he would be ushered through the crowd to his vehicle, where he would probably get in some black SUV or maybe a black sedan with smoked out windows, and he'd be gone. That's how he went home from the hospital. Troy Aikman went home from the hospital, was picked up in front of all of the media by a dude in a beer truck. A dude in a Ben E. Keith beer truck. What? I'm like, wait a second. The 90s? He just walked out of the hospital. What did he do? Call a friend? He didn't want to call it. Well, I guess he didn't have a wife. Wasn't he dating like Lori Morgan, the country singer at this point? So what did he just call a buddy who drove a beer truck, and the buddy in the beer truck pulled up to the hospital, and Troy Aikman is talking to the media while climbing into a beer truck? I mentioned Ben E. Keith. For those of you who don't know, Ben E. Keith is the big beer distributor here in Dallas. So all of the big Bud Light trucks or whatever. No, wait. Does Ben E. Keith do Bud Light or Miller? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Whatever. Troy Aikman, for some reason, gets into a beer truck and gets driven home in 1990. I'm like, man, we were not as uppity. We were not like, Troy was just like, yeah, I'll take a ride home in a beer truck. I just don't see that. I don't see Josh Allen going, oh, maybe Josh would. Josh seems like a man of the people. Anyway, I don't want to give anything else away. I just want to tell you, it is exceptional. It is an exceptional documentary series. It is 8 episodes. It taught me so much. As I said in the beginning of this review, I am an out-of-towner. I hate the Cowboys. I love football. I remember when all of this stuff was going on. I rooted against the Cowboys in every fucking Super Bowl. I hated them. Oh. but I didn't really know all of the details. I didn't know how insane it was. And I'll give you a couple of, because it's being compared to The Last Dance. The Last Dance was the story of the Bulls. It's another one of these 8-part series or whatever. The Last Dance was the story of the 1990s Jordan Bulls and all of the stuff that went on there. I would simply say this, that they're very similar. Both of these series are very similar in their vibe and all of that, except for with the Bulls, with the Last Dance special. And again, let me qualify this one more time. This might just be because of my relationship to the Bulls. Like, I feel differently about those Jordan Bulls of the 90s. I was their radio producer, so I was close to it, and I thought I was a fly on the wall and a scrub kid, but it's still one of those things for my career that I look forward to bouncing my grandson on my knee and telling him about how, I stood 2 feet away from Michael Jordan for like 45-minute stretches. It's like, yeah, and he smelled, he did. The body odor was overwhelming. So I have sort of like a warmth for the Bulls. But what these two series have in common is that they are both the story, essentially, of the troubles between two people. The Last Dance Bull story was essentially, when you boiled it all down, it was about why Michael Jordan and Bulls GM Jerry Krause could not get along. It was why that team was broken up. Because ultimately, in all of the stories that we learned, the backstage stuff and all that stuff, that was what made it interesting. But see, with the Bulls, I knew all that stuff. Because a lot of that stuff I was around, I heard the rumors and I'm like, oh yeah, they're going to talk about that? I didn't think they'd talk about that, like that kind of thing. So I didn't have that with the Cowboys. A lot of the stuff that I learned about the problems between Jerry Jones and Jimmy Johnson, and I'll tell you what I thought. I was always of the belief that, they were best friends and now they don't really speak, right? That's sort of the out-of-town stupid summation of the Jerry Jones, Jimmy Johnson dilemma. But what this series taught me was that, no, that wasn't even really true. This whole idea that they were best friends, again, that was Jerry Jones talking about how they're best friends. He's my best friend in 25 years. We go all the way back to college. That ain't true. It is true that it goes back to college, and it is true that Jerry Jones and Jimmy Johnson were roommates on the University of Arkansas football team in the 1960s, but they weren't roommates because they were buddies and they had so much in common and they hung out together. They were roommates because one guy's name was Jerry Jones and the other one was Jimmy Johnson. They were just assigned together. Once they graduate, they didn't stay close. They weren't buddies. Jimmy Johnson wasn't in Jerry Jones's wedding or vice versa or anything like that. That was a myth that was created by Jerry Jones because that's a better origin story for how this came about. They knew each other and they played together in Arkansas, but and if you hear it from Jimmy, it doesn't seem like they were ever friends. It was like, So I thought that was the origin story, the real relationship between Jimmy Johnson and Jerry Jones, I thought was fascinating. Because again, the national story had always been put out that they're best friends. Isn't this great? Well, what is the saying that Jerry kept saying? Well, when your best friend buys a football team, he's going to hire you to coach it. That's what Jerry said about Jimmy. They were never best friends. They were never best friends. But speaking of best friends, Jimmy Johnson's best friend, quite possibly, and I know this again from, real life, Jimmy Johnson's best friend might be Dave Wannstedt. Dave Wannstedt, who was his defensive coordinator at Miami, was his defensive coordinator with the Cowboys. And of course, Wannstedt would go on to be a head coach in the league. Anyway, Dave Wannstedt's interviewed, and I know Wannstedt because from Chicago. He's a Chicago media guy. Anyway, Wani is being interviewed, and he flat out says about Jimmy Johnson, his best friend. Remember, Wani is legitimately really close with Jimmy Johnson. Wani looks at the camera and he goes, yeah, that whole thing between Jerry and Jimmy. Hey, Jimmy's always had a problem giving people credit. Jimmy don't like to give people credit. Think about that. When your best friend is comfortable going on a docuseries, looking at the camera and going, yeah, my best friend kind of sucks when it comes to giving other people credit. And you got to believe it's honest because Wannstedt was his DC. So maybe Wannstedt's like, our Miami defense was fucking great. And yet you're the one who got the head coaching job. There's a lot of really interesting things. And if you are a Dallas Cowboy fan, you will enjoy it. It's a terrific series, Netflix, America's Team, The Gambler, and his Cowboys. You'll enjoy it. Charles Haley was a fucking maniac. I mean, living in Dallas the past 20 years and having dated a girl who dated Charles Haley. Have I told you? I think I mentioned that a couple of weeks ago. I dated a girl who dated Charles Haley previously. What am I supposed to do with that? What? I remember when I found out, we were out at like some club, we're all hanging out, everybody's having fun, and one of her friends goes, I ran into Charles. And they start talking. She's like, oh, how is he? And I start piecing it together, and I go, wait, who is this Charles? And they're like, Charles Haley. And I'm like, no. What? You dated Charles Haley? And she's like, yes, very briefly. It didn't last long with this woman. I think I dated her for a few months, but and by the way, she lives in New York City now. But realizing that she had dated Charles Haley was a real problem for me because of all the Charles Haley stories that float around in this town. Charles Haley was a maniac. He was a sex perv and he was a madman. A couple of things that got him sent out of San Francisco and down here to Dallas. One, he started jerking off in a meeting. Yeah, right in the middle of the meeting. They bring in Bill Romanowski. Maybe you guys remember Bill Romanowski, famous for being the dirtiest linebacker in football when he played. Romanowski was drafted by the 49ers, and Romanowski, talking about Charles Haley, he says, yeah, so every year Charles would pick out one rookie, and he would absolutely torture that rookie. And we were in a meeting room, a linebackers or defensive meeting room, or whatever it was. I don't know. We were in a meeting room, and I hear Charles, and he goes, psst, hey, Romo. And I turn and I look over at him, and he's got his pants off, and he's masturbating right there in the meeting. Fucking Charles Haley. It's fucking nuts. Legitimately. And then the thing that really got him shipped out of San Francisco was apparently he tried to beat the fuck out of George Seifert. Remember George Seifert, the head coach, the guy who replaced Bill Walsh, the former offensive coordinator under Bill Walsh's, multiple Super Bowl winning offenses there in San Francisco. So Seifert shows up and Charles Haley apparently tries to beat the fuck out of him in practice. The head coach. Well, guess what? Jerry was like, I'll take him. He's fine by me. Of course, another thing that they talk about in the series is that Charles Haley has severe bipolar disorder, and it was the 90s, so nobody really gave a shit. Everybody was just like, yeah, he's wild. No, he's mentally unbalanced, and he should be on medication. And I dated a girl who dated him. She's like, oh, God, what must that have been? Oh. All right, there you have it. Highest recommendation, 4 out of 4 stars. You get out there, you see the America's Team, The Gambler, and his Cowboys. All right, a couple more things that I want to do. We'll do this one really quick. Yeah, you know what? This is a good one, too, talking about that. Since we have people on this show, the chat, and people who listen who are equally from Dallas and Chicago. Now let's do a nice Chicago story. We just focused on our Dallas Cowboys. I wanted to show this. I played this last night on Shock House Dallas. You can find that on Radio Misfits. This is just the best story in the NFL. I just look, maybe there are better stories. Like I know that there's like a dude. I know there's a dude on a roster somewhere who's got like one arm, right? And they're like one dude who's got a flipper or something. He's got an arm and a flipper. And that's a great story. It's a great story. I don't mean to take anything away from those people. This is a really great story that sort of culminated yesterday. And it concerns my Chicago Bears, and it concerns a player that you've probably never heard of. The Chicago Bears have an undrafted walk-on Division II quarterback on their roster. This is a dude who 3 years ago, didn't get drafted, even though he set the Division II record for passing yards and touchdowns. threw more NCAA records for touchdowns. He set the that means at all levels of NCAA football, nobody threw more touchdowns in their college career than this kid who came out of Division II Shepherd. You ever heard of Shepherd College? Nah, nobody has. But despite his accolades and despite winning a Division II national championship, he didn't get himself drafted. But there was a scout in the Chicago Bears organization who had a little brother who played on this team. And this scout's little brother was like, you need to invite this kid to camp. I know he's going to go undrafted and nobody gives anything about him, but you need to invite this kid to camp. Kid's name is Tyson Bagent. Tyson Bagent was brought into a very crowded quarterback room his rookie year. Remember, not drafted, didn't go to a real college, didn't play Division I football, played at the lower levels of football, little tiny colleges. And although he lit it up, he still wasn't given any kind of credence by the NFL structure, if you will. So he gets this invite and he shows up at Bears camp. This is Justin Fields' year. They had a whole bunch of quality journeyman NFL quarterbacks backing up Justin Fields. They had the main guy was PJ whatever. PJ, I can't remember his name, but he came over from Carolina. And he was supposed to be the main backup. I think we also had like Colt McCoy or something. We had like a bunch of like names. And then we have this fifth quarterback, this undrafted kid, Tyson Bagent. Well, as soon as training camp starts that year, it was obvious that he was the second best quarterback on the team, that it didn't matter about PJ What's-His-Face, and it didn't matter about Case Keenum, who I think Andy Dalton was still there. Yeah, it didn't matter about Andy Dalton. This kid, Tyson Bagent, was destroying training camp. But that's, if you're an NFL fan, you know that we have this class of player called the training camp hero. We get him every year. Every year there's another guy who's a training camp preseason hero, and you never hear from him again in the regular season. But it was an interesting story about this kid, Tyson Bagent. Oh, really? You mean he went from being just a fifth throwaway, a guy that probably wasn't even going to be offered the practice squad job, a guy that was just going to be cut outright? You mean he went from that, and in like 3 weeks, he's now the number one backup on an NFL team? It's a good story. His dad also came into the story. His dad also is a bigger-than-life dude. And I know what you're thinking. You're going, oh, my God. Yeah, another athlete with a loudmouth dad. What is this, a LeVar Ball kind of situation? It could be. It very easily could have been that, but it wasn't. Because this kid, Tyson Bagent's dad, is a guy by the name of Travis Bagent. Now, you're not supposed to know who he is, but he is accomplished in his own little corner of the world. Tyson Bagent's father, Travis Bagent, is one of the most decorated arm wrestling champions on the planet. And he is a bigger-than-life personality. And even though nobody was paying attention to his kid who was in camp, who was the fifth quarterback, the whole of Dallas sports media started covering his dad, Travis, because his dad's just really funny. Tyson Bagent has, for the last 2 years, been an absolute, how do I say this? We don't know who our number one quarterback is all the time, but we got our number two. And there is a huge contingent of Chicago Bear fans, huge, right now on Twitter, contingent of Chicago Bear fans who believe that Tyson Bagent should be the starter over Caleb Williams. That's how good people think this kid is, who came out of nowhere. So why is this a great story? Here's why it's a great story. Because yesterday, Tyson Bagent got his bag. Tyson Bagent has been playing in the NFL now for 3 years as a backup. And he's been making the league minimum because he wasn't a draft pick. He wasn't even scouted by anybody. He just showed up. They were like, yeah, he'll do. And given the league minimum. Oh, he also started 4 games his rookie year. His rookie year, Justin Fields went down with a broken thumb. He came in, Tyson Bagent started 4 games as a pure rookie out of a Division II school. And I'm sorry, but based upon our expectations, he fucking crushed it. He went 2-2. He beat the Minnesota Vikings. A year when the Vikings were good. So yesterday he got his bag, and I want you to see this because this kid is fucking awesome. You have to understand that he comes from Nowheresville, West Virginia. Not a single person, 0-star recruit out of high school, even though he won his state championship. His high school team won their state championship there in West Virginia. 0-star recruit. Nobody came looking for him. This is Tyson Bagent yesterday. This is why the entire city of Chicago is in love with this kid and this kid's family. Tell me this isn't refreshing. In this world where, you know, we've got our Rashee Rices who are walking away from car wrecks on 75, and we've got guys punching their girlfriends. This is Tyson Bagent yesterday. Tyson got his bag.
Yeah, I think that, you know, a lot of people don't know this, but, you know, my dad is he's my right-hand man, and he didn't even have running water until he was in high school. So there's definitely a lot of things that, and people that I think I could certainly help with this gift I've been blessed with. But yeah, just little things like that. Like, you know, I don't really know anybody back at home with any money, so yeah, it feels good. I mean, it's certainly a weight off my shoulders and my family's shoulders, and yeah, it definitely means a lot.
All right, there you have it. When have you ever seen a professional athlete who gets the contract extension they weren't expecting? It wasn't, he just thought he's still under contract for another year. They could pay him absolutely nothing. But after next year, he would have been an unrestricted free agent. And, you know, the thought in Chicago was people are going to come looking at him. People are going to, if he is an unrestricted, we can match him. We can match him next year when some team goes, we're going to pay him a shitload of money because he's worth it. We can match that next year to retain him, or we can sign him right now to a nice little extended contract. So now he's here for the next 3 years. He had 1 year left. Sign him to an additional 2-year contract on that. And thinking about it from his perspective. So he's probably thinking, because he's balled out. He's been balling out. These players live on their tape, right? You got good tape, send it to another team. The agent's looking for good tape. This fucking kid has insane tape. So if he were to go into free agency, it would have been probably an expensive proposition for the Bears to keep their backup, because somebody's going to make him a starter. Ben Johnson just said on Monday in the press conference that Tyson Bagent will be a starter in this league. So what's in it for Tyson Bagent? Well, he's still only 23, 24 years old. He's still a kid. He's got a couple of years of experience as a backup, but those were a couple of years of experience under the, you know, the vaunted Matt Eberflus system. So the kid signs this deal. He's going to be he's fine with being Caleb's backup for the next 2 years. And for the next 2 years, this kid gets a masterclass in Ben Johnson's offense. Now, let me ask you, in 2 years, and he's got a nice little bag now. Like he said, he was crying. This is generational wealth for his family. But in 2 years, do you think his free agent stock might be even better? You know, as a kid now who's been, anyway, he's just a great fucking kid. Here, and this was Sunday night. Let's show you how he plays. You're like, oh, I don't know who this guy is. I've never heard of him. Let me show you how this backup fucking quarterback plays football. This is just, I don't even have to go to his highlights. I would show you career highlights when he's come into the game and lit it up and then gone back and sat on the bench. I could show you that, but why? Let me just show you 48 hours ago. Let me just show you what he did 48 hours ago. Okay, here you go. This is Tyson Bagent. This is why he got his bag. This is why the team went, let's just lock him up. This was just last Sunday. Check this kid out. Once again, 0-star recruit out of high school. No colleges offered him a scholarship. He went for 4 years to a tiny school in West Virginia called Shepherd. Nobody looked at him as far as the NFL. Got no invitations to camp other than the Chicago Bears. And this is what he's doing now.
Such a key. Bagent drops back to throw and delivers a perfect toss to Luther Burden, the rookie, for a first down into Bills territory on a gain of 22.
You've got to certainly declare, but, you know, overall, I think really the changes were good, really good, solid changes.
Now watch this. This is why all the Tyson Bagent fanboys are like, he's Brett Favre. He's fucking Brett Favre.
The look to throw for it. Bagent steps up, flag in the secondary. Man comes free for a first down. Maurice Alexander inside the 20.
Don't come up, so keep an eye on him. He's going to pick up this shallow cross from the other side. The rule is, Joe, you don't leave your man until the quarterback crosses the line of scrimmage.
For everyone across this great state of Illinois that we live in to be able to benefit from it. I mean, our fans deserve an opportunity to have a world-class stadium, to be able to watch Chicago Bears football. It's a great design that drops right off in the facility in Arlington Heights. So we're looking forward to proceeding forward.
Tyler Scott goes for 35 yards right here. So we have the site.
This next one is why he got his bag. One day later.
Pretty much figured out. How about what's the place going to look like? What do we know design-wise?
With both boys and girls flag, and we're fortunate with the support of the McCaskey family to be able to carry this forward.
Your Bears knocking on the door again here, and there's Luther Burden with a first down grab.
This one. This is what got him his bag.
Just outside the 10 with Ian Wheeler into the game at running back. He takes the fake, and the flats goes Stephen Carlson. Bajan goes to the end zone and finds a man in the corner. It is Tyler Scott for a touchdown.
Oh, yeah. All right. The kid can play in the league. The kid that the experts all said, nah, he's nothing. The kid can play in his league. He's got a second contract in the NFL, and the city of Chicago couldn't be more in love with him. He's terrific. All right, now let me show you his dad real quick, just to give you an idea of his dad, why everybody loves his dad. This is Travis Bagent. This is from when, I guess, the NFL Network was at training camp. Travis Bagent, the legendary arm wrestling champion, challenges Tom Pelissero of the NFL Network to an arm wrestling match. Let's see how this goes. This guy, Travis Bagent, like I said, I know I said he could be a LeVar Ball type or whatever. He's not. He is so enjoyable. He is so bigger than life, and he's his son's biggest cheerleader. It is awesome. Watch this. This is Travis Bagent, arm wrestling champ. Well, what's it say here? Tyson Bagent's 28 career arm wrestling champion's dad, Travis. Oh, that's fucking weirdly written. All right, so 28 career arm wrestling championships, Travis Bagent versus Tom Pelissero. Here you go.
Have you ever done this before? No. Perfect. I'll take over from here. I can actually keep this if you don't mind. Perfect. So we're going to have to leave that hand to the side. I'll leave mine hand here to the side. It's real easy. If your hand hits that pad, you are the baddest dude in the history of the NFL Network. What usually happens is I win. What's best for you is don't fight it. All right? Everybody's good at something, and this is what I do. Ready and go. Nice. Relax there, young man. I thought for sure you'd be a lot stronger. I'll take it from here. Listen, the rest of these people, they've been calling me Travis. You can call me Daddy, young man. Yes, sir. Thanks a lot to the NFL Network. He's actually a lot stronger than I thought. He could definitely beat you.
There it is, guys.
Oh, my God.
And that's going to hurt tomorrow. But I swear by Saturday, I'll be ready. I know Travis will be ready too, right?
Wow. And for some of you guys in the back, if you want to believe it, you want to feel it, get on up here. It's the real deal.
All right, there you go. So that's his dad. Father-son team, just incredibly likable people, just good All-Americans, and something wonderful happened for Tyson Bagent yesterday. It's just great. And also, I will say, there have been a lot of talk the last couple of weeks about, well, you know, the Bears, they got Case Keenum, and wouldn't it be better to have a real veteran mind in the room with Caleb Williams? And so people were like, well, we could, you know, what if we packaged Tyson Bagent with Montez Sweat, and we made a deal with the Cowboys to get Micah honestly, that's what people were saying. People were like, there are teams that could definitely use Tyson Bagent as, if not a backup quarterback, potentially as a real starter in this league. So that's not going to happen anymore. We ain't tired. The Bears yesterday said we ain't trading him. He's our guy. We're proud of him. We love him. He's going to be around. Good news. Good things happen. All right, guys, I got nothing else. I was going to do this whole thing about this YouTuber, but it's already 4 o'clock, and we've been doing this for 2 hours, and nobody can stand more than 2 hours of me. Once again, I want to thank today's show being brought to us by the incredible Leslie C. Thank you so much, Leslie. This show does run on your tips and gratuities. If you want to support it and make sure that we can continue doing shows, you can drop a little something there. in the Venmo or the Cash App. That's going to be it. God, it's hot. I love you guys. You're the best. Tomorrow is Friday. We'll have a fun show. See you then.